We're back in Worqor Ja Ja, but in the southern section of the map. Okay. As I'm sure you've noticed, the air grows thin at this elevation. Take it slow until your body adjusts. Deep breaths. Drink plenty of water. A few more steps and we'll be in Worlar's Echo. Whew. I think I'm getting used to the air up here. So this is the place from the Lay of Proof, where Papa met with the Yokui. And that must be them. I don't think I've ever actually seen one outside of a picture. So it is for most Turali. The giants rarely visit the lowlands. Here, in the mountain fastness, they tend to the solemn duty they pledged to undertake in their pact with the Dawn Servant. To watch over the tural vidraal Valigarmanda and maintain its prison within their temple. Oh, Valigarmanda is in here, okay. Ah, yes. Uklamat told us about the tural vidraal, creatures that live for far longer than normal and awaken to strange powers. Indeed. Yet, even among those anomalies, Valigarmanda is unrivaled in strength. It has endured for centuries, bringing catastrophe each time it emerges from its lair. Ah, there's the ice, okay. As you learned in the Lay of Ice, it was Worqor Ja Ja who at last managed to imprison the beast, and it has lain dormant in the temple ever since. It is said the building still bears a gaping hole in its ceiling from when Valigarmanda was lured inside by Worqor Ja Ja's final ploy. I would like to see the strongest of all tural vidraal. I wonder what it was like to fight it. Worlar's Echo was where both the Lay of Proof and the Lay of Ice took place. Does this not suggest we'll be facing two feats this time? That's a question we can ask the Elector once we find him. Or maybe we should flush out Bakool Ja Ja first so I can beat my keystone out of him. Identifying the Dawn Service Elector should be our priority. Let's find the thieving cheat. Priority. I suppose we do still have 4 keystones to earn, and no matter what we do, the contest will pit us against him sooner or later. Alright, let's seek out the Elector. Then I suggest we pay a visit to Carriosar the Gracious, or so their temple is called. The Moblins told me that High Luminary Gurfurlur is to be found there. If we are to ask someone for information, then he seems a wise choice. Let's see if I can convince the guards to let us through. I am Buklamat, third promise of Tuliyolal, and I seek your elector for the right of succession. May I speak with Gurfurlur? The High Luminary has granted admittance to the claimants. You may enter. Huh, that was easier than expected. In we go then. Gods, is that? Aye, Valigarmanda. Welcome. High Luminary Gurfurlur. He is not here at present. I am Luminary Zormor. This is the sky ruin? Valigarmanda? It is. The tural vidraal whose name has evoked terror since time immemorial. Even my people, once conquerors of all beneath the sun, were as brittle leaves before Valigarmanda's tempestuous power. When the sky ruin descended upon Worqor 8 decades ago, the casualties were staggering. Had Gurfurlur Ja Ja and his companions not intervened, we would have been slaughtered to the last. Their titanic battle with Valigarmanda raged for 10 days and 10 nights. As their foe fought on, tireless and relentless, our heroes were pushed beyond the limits of their endurance. Thus did the head of reason concoct a desperate plan. Gurfurlur Ja Ja tricked the sky ruin into losing control of its own ice magics, causing the unwitting tural vidraal to encase itself in frozen ether. And it's been like this ever since. Nice work, Papa. But what happens if the ice ever melts? That same question looms large in our minds, for the magics sustaining this prison grow weaker with each passing year. Valigarmanda commands powers of fire and lightning and ice. Some believe that the violence of the recent storm was the result of those energies slipping free. That raging tempest from Valigarmanda. Setting future worries aside, you are come to attempt the feats of proof, yes? The High Luminary, chosen Elector of the Dawn Servant, has left me with instructions for all aspiring claimants. You are to scour our forbidding mountains and find the waiting Gurfurlur. That is to be your challenge. Ah, so the search itself is the feat. You have already spoken with my brothers, I take it. I have. Their expeditions are on their way. Then we had better pick up the pace. Aye, but we'll need a direction to search in first. Let's see what hints we can gather from the villagers. Gods, Valigarmanda is enormous. I know Papa had friends with him, but it's incredible he could hold his own against that thing. Should its prison ever fail, though, we can't expect the old guard to come running. It will be up to us to save the day. As we have just been informed, the feat of proof requires us to seek the High Luminary Gurfurlur somewhere up on these mountains. However, if earlier feats are any indication, we must assume the challenge precludes the Yokui from answering our questions in a straightforward manner. Thus, I would ask that you pay close attention while attempting to divine Gurfurlur's whereabouts. Though the giants may not give us precise location, there may be clues hidden within their words. Such is my theory, anyway. Let us see what we can discover. The High Luminary? No, I have not seen him today. Now let me ask you a question. The Shbral who came out of the temple earlier, was that really the third promise? She seems rather unimposing. How is she meant to succeed the mighty Gurfurlur Ja Ja? Ow. Atuli Yolan? No, you are far farther away than that, I think. As for the High Luminary, I can only guess where he might be. He is warder of the Sky Ruin, but also keeper of the sepulchres, and his duties often take him outside the village. Guardian of the Sepulchres. So it's likely to be a nearby cemetery. Asking after the High Luminary as well, are you? I know not where to find him, but I do hope you have the opportunity to speak together. He is a great man with a deep reverence for our traditions. These glyphs we carve, for one, he affords them as much value as any treasure we possess. They are records of lives lived. Your arrival, too, I will etch into the stone. The story of our meeting may endure for untold turnings of the sun. If you're curious about our ways, then I bid you visit Proof, to the northwest of here. It is one of our gravesites. Yeah, that's likely where he will be. Okay. First things first, was anyone able to coax forth a definite location for the High Luminary? Nope. As expected. What then of clues or other hints that might point us in the right direction? I heard that in addition to his usual duties, Gurfurlur is also charged with keeping the graves. As did I. The Yokui's sepulchres appear to hold a special significance in their culture. But would it be appropriate for us outsiders to enter into their burial grounds? We gotta do what we gotta do. Proof, you say? And he encouraged you to visit this place yourself. Then let's go and take a look. Even if we don't find Gurfurlur there, it will give us the chance to learn more about the Yokui. The gravesite is somewhere northwest of here. Well, we can leave from that side of the village for a start, shall we? The others have gone on ahead to Proof, following the trail west. There are sharp drops everywhere, so we're all moving at our own pace. Some of us are not built for craggy terrain. I thought to get my bearings from up here first, so I don't stumble off a cliff. Why don't you try catching up to Erenville? He should be able to point you in the right direction. Take a look at this crater. There is no wood, no trees, not even dry grass. And yet the ground still burns. This must be one of the scars left by Valigarmanda's rampage, as told by the saga. The Skyrim's fires are described as eternal, flames that can be quenched by neither storm nor time. And here I thought it a literary embellishment. But now I have lost sight of Uklamat. Proof is northwest along the main road, so hopefully she's still heading the right way. Wuklamat wins again. Looks like everyone is here now, so... Greetings, friend. Are you Gurfurlur? No, I am not. The High Luminary did, however, task me with providing a lesson on sepulchres to those who came in search of him. Oh, so we were meant to find our way here after all. Are you to tell us who is buried here? No one is buried here, in the sense you mean. When a body has served this purpose, we consign it to the flames, then scatter its ashes across the peaks. Moreover, we do not conceive of death as others do. For us, a person does not die when their heart ceases to beat, but only when they are no longer born in the hearts of all who know them. This is why we build our sepulchres before age or mishap claim us, that we might etch ourselves into the living chronicle for all eternity. Oh. This grain belongs to a good friend. His mortal vessel ended its journey some years ago, but he lives within me, even now. Up there stands my own sepulchre. As long as it exists, so too will I. I will endure in the hearts of those who read my grave glyphs in the same manner my friend does in mine. Has it always been thus for your people, this conception of existence and death? Continue along this path to the indelible passage. Behold the history upon its walls, and you may find the answers to your questions. Then that's what we'll do. Your traditions are fascinating, and I would love to know more. I thank you for allowing me to share them, for in doing so will I remain in your hearts also. That's an interesting culture. At first I thought it was like Mexican culture, but it's different. Hello. A fellow we met at Proof suggested that we come here. Yes, the High Luminary commanded that I watch for your arrival, as the chroniclers of our people. It has ever been my family's duty to pass on the teachings of the murals from generation to generation. Doesn't this bring back memories? They really are magnificent, and together they tell the tale of your people's history? They are the events which shaped us. I would share them with you, where you continue on your way. Please, we would love to hear all about it. Then I will begin. This first mural depicts a time more than 1100 years ago, an age of great prosperity for the Yokhui. Blessed with size and strength unmatched by other peoples, our ancestors marched forth and brought much of Yoktural under their dominion. Then, when all before them had been conquered, they turned their gaze northwards, seeking to expand their territory and power. Here we see the expedition to Sak Tural. Is it Sak or Shak? Shak Tural must be. Unable to cross the strait by ship, our forefathers set to building a bridge to the northern lands, a grand labor which consumed the greater part of a century. Worqor the Boundless. We still make use of that bridge in Tuli Yolal for travel. I can't imagine the patience and dedication it took to complete a work of that scale. But I have never heard of any Yokhui living in Shak Tural. What happened to the ones who went north? Look upon this next mural and behold the answer. The scene suggests that many giants perished all at once. What manner of enemy could have repelled their invasion? A foe unnamed and unseen. When the expedition pushed forth into Shak Tural those 1,000 years ago, its soldiers were felled by disease. Some terrible illness? No virulent plague or newly arisen blight. For the local Tonawata and Shetona, it was but a mild affliction of the sort that comes with the turning of the seasons. What manifested for them as slight fevers and coughs, however, proved deadly to our people. Out of every 10 Yokhui who joined that northern campaign, 9 succumbed to the infection. Those who survived continued to suffer, finding it difficult to sire offspring. I have heard of this before. Lacking an inherited resistance, visitors to distant lands can fall deathly ill to diseases a local might shrug off. These events might also have given rise to the practice of cremation, rather than the burial of mortal remains. This final mural depicts the return of our grieving brethren to Urkopacha, the reason they first left, why they had fought so long and pushed so far, was to ensure peace for our homeland. This undertaking began in ancient times when our forebears learned they shared the continent with peoples unlike to us in appearance or custom. They feared invasion was inevitable. Rather than meekly await their fate, they decided to strike their first blow. Yet as they fought on and on, the old idea of peace drifted further and further away. Only after the disaster in Tural and their withdrawal to the mountains did they come to understand. The peace we envisioned had been ours for the taking all along. It was here, in the place which birthed us, here in the stones upon which we recorded our days. Here, in this tranquil life we had traded for conquest and conflict. When you do nothing but fight, it can blind you to what's right before your eyes. And so we return to the present. I trust you found this brief history of our people enlightening. I'm always glad to learn more about my fellow Turali, how you have lived until now, and how you wish to live from now on. Then I believe you are ready to proceed. The High Luminary bids you meet him upon the summit of Worqor Zormor. I had a feeling we would end up scaling that big old mountain. Well, it's a feat worthy of the name. Follow the trail south of here to begin your ascent, but be wary. Beyond the entryway, the mountainside is home to ferocious beasts, both mundane and otherwise. We'll keep that in mind. Thank you for the warning and the lesson. Finally, we know where we're going. To the top of Worqor Zormor. So we are scaling Worqor Zormor. Nice. This thin mountain air is going to be the death of me. What? How long have you been standing there? I was just taking in the scenery, so. Come on. We don't want to fall too behind Alfino and the others. You remember how the Chronicle was saying that the more they fought, the further away they moved from their idea of peace? It occurs to me that if Soralja is attempting the feat of proof, then he would have heard the same lesson. I can only hope that it's made him reconsider his own stance on educating people through war.
Gods, that is one tall mountain. And we're supposed to climb it?
Okay.
Farther. Gomar. Tuliorlu. Korogar.
Slight nitpick, but usually when a creature speaks and we understand it because we have the echo, the border of the chat is like this sprinkly thing. Do not expect to walk here unchallenged. Tell me, stunted ones, did those short legs bring you all the way from Tuliolal?
He's speaking the old Yokhui tongue. The words are difficult to catch.
Though your words are crude and cumbersome, I use them for your benefit. You are a claimant in this rite of succession.
That's right.
Then, if you die, Tuliyola loses a potential ruler.
That's a dark thing to say, friend. I get the feeling you don't share the opinions of the other Yokhui we've met.
We do not grovel before Gurfurlur Ja Ja like those shameless lapdogs. My brethren and I are conquerors, and we will restore our people to their rightful place as turals, overlords.
Sweet. The Giants have their own factions too, it seems.
You think your kin weak for showing deference to my father, but they do not follow the man. It is his peace they respect, a peace they always wanted, which they realized could be had right here.
Justifications of the craven. They turn their gaze from our ancestors, from the dream we kept alive for 1,000 years and more. They are unworthy of bearing our legacy. I will reclaim the glory of our people. And our ascension begins with the death of the third promise.
Stop! I don't want to fight you!
Then die on your knees. Opportunistic vermin seek to feast on us, do you? Get down here! Your neck will be the first I snap this day!
Oh, okay.
That's right!
Why do you help us?
I didn't put much thought into it. My legs were moving before I knew what was happening. I suppose I feared you'd die before we had the chance to get to know each other. Before I could learn more about you.
To what end?
Oh, that's simple. If we're to share the land, it's the best way for us to become friends. How is he?
He'll live. Not quite ready to walk under his own strength, however.
If you could stay and tend to him, the rest of us will continue on to Worqor Zormor.
Understood. Be careful up there.
This changes nothing. We will not forsake our conquest.
As you like. You want to kill me, you're welcome to try. But right now, you might want to worry about your comrade.
On a mountain of that size, there are bound to be creatures even I've never heard of. I'll trust you to lead the way.
Then we climb. Gurfurlur is waiting.
Vorporlor. Not Gurfurlur, Gurfurlur. Okay. So is this a second dungeon? Oh, Worqor Zormor is a second dungeon. Okay. What kind of name is Worqor Zormor anyway? Raja. You have caught up. It seems I've been toying too much with my prey. Nah, that wasn't intended. You'll have to find another path. Think of it as an added test of your resourcefulness. Where'd you go? Dawn's. Oh, he's off. He's for Furlur. Why do I have to find him?
I am Gurfurlur, Elector of the Dawn Servant. Prepare to be tested.
Okay.
Very good, claimant. Once more, I name myself Gurfurlur, High Luminary to my people, and chosen Elector of the Dawn Servant.
You are much bigger than the others in the village.
All Yokhui were once my equal in size, but ever since we were decimated by disease, it is rare to see a child reach our former stature.
You speak of the contagion which afflicted the tural expedition, the one recorded in your murals.
It is a chapter of our history that is entangled with the legend of the Golden City.
I've heard that legend originated with the Yokhui. Is this true?
With the visions our ancestors had, to be precise. Preceding the campaign into tural, many were visited by dreams of glittering splendor. They described a paradise that knew neither war nor famine, where people lived lives of eternal happiness. A single dreamer might have been dismissed, but when dozens, if not hundreds, spoke the same, the luminaries became convinced it was was divine revelation.
So the idea of the Golden City came to people in a dream. This wasn't just something they found.
Then the expedition.
Its purpose was to find the City of Gold. Yes. Help was marshaled from all the territories under our control. Lands were scoured on a massive scale.
Ah, little wonder the legend is so similar across Tural. Those involved with the search would have passed the stories down to their children.
Another claimant, I see. I will test your worth, as I have tested those who came before you.
Here and now, I think he means.
Well fought, second promise. For you and your sister's success in performing the feat of proof. You both shall be rewarded.
Three to go.
How glorious it would have been to race thee and thine to the summit. Though mayhap not whilst being hounded by Bakool Ja Ja and his minions.
Again, that swine shows his disdain for the Rite.
Strangely, despite his eagerness to antagonize us, he withdrew as soon as we fought back in earnest. I cannot fathom what he was trying to achieve. On a similar note, I'm also curious as to why you chose the peak of Worqor Zormor for the conclusion of this feat. The earlier stages saw us learn the history of the Yokwi. Does this location also hold some special meaning for your people?
Jokui, not Jokui, Jokui.
Yes. It is a place of great significance.
All these monuments. Is this a burial ground?
Every high luminary before me is enshrined in this earth. Alongside them are the heroes who bravely stood their ground when Valigarmanda brought ruin to Worqor 8 decades past.
Ah, here we go.
That explains why there are so many.
Zorolja, I should have known you'd arrive here first.
Third promise. How relieved I am to find you in good health.
Zorolja, you bastard! I should end you here and now!
I mean, do they know, but...
Remember where you are. You will mind your conduct, or you will
Right. Sorry.
I see no reason to delay further. Show me my father's sepulchre.
Oh, okay, they have... Because they have sepulchres while they live, right?
Papa has a grave?
Upon this monument are inscribed the names of those who sealed away the monstrous Valigarmanda. Your fathers included.
Gurfurlur Ja Ja, Master of Resolve and Reason, Champion of Peace.
Look at this one. Kettenram, Navigator of Uncharted Oceans.
Kettenram? The Lamentin explorer? Does this mean he joined Gurfurlur Ja Ja on his travels?
Apparently.
Kafkiwa, Seeker of the Unknown. How strange to see your name here.
Is that the master he spoke of? Kakiwa?
It was unheard of to build living sepulchres for those who were not Yokwi. But their great deed demanded recognition.
Master of Resolve and Reason, Champion of Peace? Papa really did some amazing things.
He carved his path with martial skill.
Yet it was clever thinking which allowed him to trap Valigarmanda within its own ice magics.
Martial skill and clever thinking. I can't compete with Zorolja's mastery of the Head of Resolve's techniques. And when it comes to knowledge, Kona's the one who most takes after the Head of Reason. Is there anything that I've gotten from Papa? Something I do better than the others?
You have his love for peace. What else defines your father aside from strength and knowledge? Peace.
Of course. Papa's love for peace, for his people. That is what he's given me. And I'm fighting to preserve the peaceful tural he built. What in the hells was that?
You must return to Worlar's Echo immediately. Valigarmanda has broken free.
I wonder if Bakool Ja Ja had something to do with it.
I presume that was about the unholy sound?
Valigarmanda is free.
We need to get back there, now!
How fortuitous. We have been gifted an opportunity to outpace our rivals.
I don't like Sarelja. Something's fishy about him. Good, you're back. There is much I would explain, but by the time I arrived to investigate a sudden search in Ether, there were already fallen giants everywhere. Sudden search in Ether. Right now, everyone is preoccupied with treating the wounded. Pray catch your breath and then lend a hand where you can. If you're ready, there are many injured here who need aid. Should you find anyone passed out from their wounds, I ask that you alert me to them. Ah, crap. Otherwise, I shall be tending to whomever requires the most urgent healing. We can gather here once we have seen to these people's hurts. So I bet Bakool Ja Ja had something to do with releasing Valigarmanda, but I'm also very suspicious of Sarelja. Sarelja knows something. You, the third promise's protector. Everything was bathed in bright red. A searing heat enveloped my entire body. I couldn't move. But wait, when Bakool Ja Ja kidnapped Worqor, he talked about Sarelja, or what we understand to be Sarelja. So they are in cahoots. Is Sarelja aiding Bakool Ja Ja? Everything burns. The touch of cloth is agony. Yet I will live. Leave me. There are others in more dire need of help. My wounds are nothing serious, but this dryness in my throat. It's as if all the moisture has left my body. I know we're meant to believe that Bakool Ja was... while Sarelja was up in the peak of Worqor Zormor and was finding his father's grave and whatever, Sarelja wasn't there. He arrived late. And then suddenly this happens? This... I've done all I can for now. The injured you found were awake and alert then? That is well. We've let the injured as comfortable as we could. Many were suffering from burns to a greater or lesser degree. Did a fire sweep through the village? The details are unclear. Once I had healed the giant attacked by that mountain bird, the group's leader, Vorporlor, I believe they called him, bade me depart. It was then that I felt an intense wave of ether and returned to find Worlar's echo in this state. I rushed over to the first giant I saw. Though delirious with pain, he repeated the same warning. Valigarmanda had broken free. Thus did I contact you with all haste. Well, we're going to need more information than that before we can deal with the situation. Yes, we should speak with the temple guard and see what's become of this Sky Ruins prison.
What happened?
There we go.
So it's true. The ice has failed.
Zormor, tell them what you told me.
A short while ago, a claimant paid us a visit.
About time I used the echo.
Who enters this hallowed hall? Ah, a claimant.
Oh. And here we have the mighty Valigarmanda.
A terrifying vidraal. With every awakening, it has seared its ruinous name into the memories of a new generation.
What a good little terror. You've stayed napping right up until the day I needed you.
Explain yourself.
It is as they say. Gurfurlur Ja Ja caused its magic to run rampant, trapping it in a frozen prison of its own creation. Clever. Clever. To unmake it, it would be quite tricky. 2 spells must be cast at the exact same moment. A conflagration intense enough to melt the ice, and awakening flame to rekindle the slumbering vidraal's soul. The only ones capable of such harmonious execution would be the heads of reason and resolve. And the blessed siblings, Bakool Ja Ja.
You mustn't!
But I already have.
Why?
Rise and rage, little terror.
But why? Why release it? Why?
I might have overdone the fire a bit.
Utter madness. Why have you done this?
For the throne, of course.
You unleash calamity for your own gain? Have you any idea how many may die?
Wreak havoc, Valigarmanda. Live up to your legend.
Why don't they just disqualify him after this?
A messenger to Worlar has been dispatched. The Landsguard will send a contingent, I am sure. But there is no telling when they will arrive.
Idiot! This monstrous act is a step too far, even for him!
So, what's the plan?
What do you think is the plan?
If we leave the vidraal to others, it will be a massacre. Some might call it the wiser choice, if I don't want to fall behind the competition. But I could never live with myself. And my supporters deserve a better ruler. So that's that. I will stay and fight Valigarmanda. This is an enemy so powerful that even my father failed to slay it. Alone, I don't stand a chance. I understand you've no obligation to aid me outside the Rite of Succession. But for the sake of Worqor Ja Ja and its people, I beg you, join me in this battle.
As if you had to ask. This is the kind of challenge I live for. What other choice do we have? As if you had to ask.
Far be it from us to abandon a dear comrade in her time of need.
Dear comrades now, eh? I have to say, it does have a comforting ring to it. Knowing someone has your back makes it easier to do what you have to do.
And what will we do?
One committed to winning the contest above all else would race on ahead.
Really?
If you resolve to slay Valigarmanda, we'll need to find out where the beast went.
That's what we have you for, old friend.
Inform the Pelu of the danger. They may need to flee to lower ground.
So, Erenville, any ideas on how we can track Valigarmanda? The tried and true method of comparing sightings with other signs of passage is the most reliable, but also the most time-consuming. There is a second option, not as reliable as the first, but if we're lucky, it will let us ascertain the Skyrune's whereabouts far more quickly. Though a tural vidraal of extraordinary nature, Valigarmanda is still a creature of this world. Like you and me, it is thus sustained by corporeal energy and possesses a unique ethereal balance, which means this device should come in handy. What device? What? A floating hand? Now's not the time to be playing with toys. This is no toy, it's an ether seeker. As the name suggests, gleaners use it to detect the ether of living beings. And you've had that in your pack this whole time? I can calibrate it to follow a specific ethereal aspect. The problem with Valigarmanda, however, is that it can shift freely between the elements of fire, ice, or lightning. Well, we know that in order to awaken Valigarmanda from its icy imprisonment, Bakool Ja Ja casts spells which quickened its fire aspect ether, and the residents here were uniformly afflicted by burns. Therefore, the logical conclusion is that, upon breaking free, Valigarmanda unleashed a great fiery blast. Then the choice is plain: fire. The Seeker, however, is not without its faults. As we were not able to input our quarry's unique etheric signature in advance, the device will respond to any living source of fire-aspected ether. So we have the reliable yet slow method of information gathering versus the potentially swift but easily misled Gleaner tool. I say, why not pursue both methods at the same time? Good idea. We'll have the first to fall back on if the second fails. You travel with me then, Sagacite, in case the Seeker leads me to some other fiery fiend. Rest of us can stay behind and talk to eyewitnesses. The more Sky Ruin sightings we compare, the more accurate our information will be. If no one has any objections, I shall remain here in the village and tend to the Yokui. Very few and seriously injured, but I am wary of wounds inflicted by a creature like Valigarmanda. I should like to be close at hand should their condition suddenly worsen. Right, it sounds like we all have work to do. We should be on our way as well. Right. The Seeker is ready to go. Worlar's echo is still suffused with the Sky Ruin's residual ether, so I have excluded it from the search area to prevent it from swamping the sensors. Let's begin tracking, shall we? Source of fire expected ether located. Tracking disengaged. Not quite the legendary creature we're after. But I still have to kill it so it doesn't confuse the system, so... Would you mind dealing with that fire sprite? It will continue to confuse the Seeker if we leave it be. That's my job. Unnecessary measure, I'm afraid. Let's try this again. Affirmative. Tracking nearest source of far expected ether. Frightening enough, but again, not what we were looking for. If you would be so kind. My thanks. I would ask if it gave you any trouble, but considering who I'm talking to... Seeker, resume tracking, and do try to point out something useful this time. Affirmative, resume tracking. It's just a lava. Ah, but these were made by Valigarmanda, if I recall correctly. Ah, another remnant of Valigarmanda's last rampage. The crater's flames registered the Seeker as corporeal ether. In the words of the Tuliyolal saga, when Valigarmanda rages out of control, its fire burns forever, its eyes does not thaw, and its lightning crackles without cease. Thus was the Dawn Servant able to turn the Sky Ruin's perpetual magic against itself, wrapping it within an unmelting prison of ice. This is no mundane fire, but some kind of everlasting sorcery. Once again, it is a strange feeling to see fanciful poetry proven true. The important thing is that the fire was classified as living ether. We can feed a sample into the Seeker and greatly improve its accuracy. One moment. There. Now the Seeker should ignore any etheric signature by Valigarmanda's. But I didn't realize this was possible from the start. Then you needn't have fought those creatures at all. My apologies. It seems I still have much to learn from this journey, as a cleaner and as a guide. This time, the Seeker should be attracted solely to Valigarmanda's ether. Resume tracking based on the latest sample. Affirmative. Resume tracking. Sample ethereal signature detected. Engaging accelerated pursuit mode. Good. The Seeker was drawn directly to the Sky Ruin's fire. Now we know we have set the correct parameters for its ethereal aspect. I'll try increasing the threshold for etheric concentration. That should direct us to the tural vidraal itself. Recalibrating sensors, resuming tracking. I think we would notice if Valigarmanda was inside this passage. Let's head through to the other side.
The trail ends here, it seems. Could Valigarmanda have shifted its elemental aspect? It does have 3 to choose from, after all. In any case, I'm almost certain the vidraal was headed in the direction of Worqor Zormor. We should let the others know we have a likely location.
Alphino is assisting the Yokhui with their evacuation. He thought they could use a healing hand with the injured.
So where is Valigarmanda?
Worqor Zormor. Its stratified layers contain a wealth of crystals, said to be the source of its many-colored glow. After 80 years of imprisonment, the vidraal will be in dire need of sustenance. It would have been drawn to the mountain's energies.
So Valigarmanda seeks to replenish its ether.
Then we'd better not give it the chance.
Stop!
Oh, you guys.
That mountain is sacred ground. I forbid you to set foot on it.
Sure, let Valigarmanda burn your entire valley. Sure. Smart.
Sorry, It is not our intention to trespass. But you must understand, that's where Valigarmanda has gone. If we don't slay it now, it will slaughter countless innocents. Just like in the old days, I beg you, permit us to enter.
Out of the question. Your band is incapable of defeating Valigarmanda. Either you seek to defile Vorporlor door, or you are fools.
If you doubt their chances, how would you feel were we to join them?
Why not?
The monument to Valigarmanda's defeat bears the names of 7 heroes. With our forces combined, we also number 7.
Seven weaklings are no less doomed than 4.
Zoralcha, you've come to help as well.
Against my sound advice. While the rest of you were tussling with this sky ruin, we might have secured an insurmountable lead. A minor delay. It will not change the contest's outcome. I would take the measure of this tural vidraal my father was unable to kill.
Both my brothers here. This battle is all but won.
Your celebration is premature. I never said I would let you pass.
You gonna stop me? Stop us?
Brother, no! We do not bear arms against our own people.
What an odd thing to say. As I recall, the inhabitants of Worqor Zormor do not consider themselves members of the Yolal nation. I'd hardly call them our own people.
What does that matter? Members or not, everyone in Tural is part of our dream for peace. If you would hurt them, then you'll have to go through me.
She saved me from the mountain bird. Now, then, the same eyes. Eyes of stone. Words of stone.
We are still in her debt. This is true. Consider the debt repaid. But do not misunderstand. We do not submit to Tuliolan rule.
Aye, you've made your point. We can talk more once the contest is over.
I ask your name.
Worqor, protector of peace, and soon-to-be Dawn servant.
Even people with wildly different ideals can find understanding through earnest discussion. I believe that, wholeheartedly.
As do I. I won't give up until we reach a compromise.
Assuming you survive, my old bones and I will be waiting here for the true heir's return.
Your thoughts have always been a mystery to me, brother. But I'm relieved to see you put aside the contest for the sake of the greater good.
Our nation is a fortress, and its people the bricks with which it is built. The more that are lost or broken, the weaker Yolal becomes. Even the crudest rock has value as a stepping stone.
Come on, you two. Forget about the right of succession for now, and help me fight this overgrown snake bird. I don't care how strong the Sky Ruin may be. We're going to put this menace down for good.
Worqor now accessible, and I'm guessing this is the trial. Worqor Lardor. Tural, vidraal, Valigarmanda. 1% is down. Okay. Nice. First strike. Nice.
We did it. We slew Valigarmanda. A feat that even the great Gurfurlur Ja Ja couldn't manage. For you, Papa!
There's no denying it was an impressive achievement, but I wouldn't be so quick to claim we've outdone Father. The vidraal was weakened by decades of imprisonment. Had we faced it in its prime, we wouldn't have fared a fraction as well.
Ah, shut up.
How can you say that? 80 years couldn't have made that much of a difference. Could it? Oh, who am I kidding? Papa's still the best.
You fought well, though. I'm sure you'll surpass him one day. You have a ways to go. You fought well, though.
I did, didn't I? Even if it wasn't at full strength, we defeated a living legend. I swear, I'll surpass the old man one day.
The Sky Ruin lies dead, and still, I've yet to prove myself the miracle.
Well, I suppose we should head back and join Erenville.
We did leave him with only Sarelja for company.
Your proud expressions bespeak a successful hunt. Not that I'm surprised in the least. Sarelja came back earlier, but left almost immediately with Sarelja in tow. He seemed disinclined to share in any victory celebrations. That's not unusual for Sarelja. No, it's Bakool Ja Ja that concerns me. He's probably far ahead now, making the most of the mayhem he caused. I still can't believe he did something so evil just to slow us down. If we hadn't slain Valigarmanda, it wasn't only Urgopacha at risk. There would have been deaths across the entire continent. I'm more certain than ever that Bakool Ja Ja cannot be allowed to rule. I have to catch him and take back my keystone. The Yokui must still be anxious, wondering where and when Valigarmanda will strike next. I suggest we hurry back and allay their fears. Alfie knows as well, I should think. Yes, you're right. We shouldn't let them worry another moment.
To the temple, then.
That won't be necessary, heroes of the hour. Valigarmanda is no more. Yours is a victory worthy of song.
We had plans for a second feat to be conducted here in town, but the recklessness of your fellow claimant has rendered them pointless.
A second feat?
The feat of ice. You are to fortify Valigarmanda's prison.
No need.
How shall we proceed, High Luminary?
What more would we test, Zormor? They have defeated the Sky Ruin and saved the gods know how many lives. If they are not worthy heirs to Gurfurlur Ja Ja, then no one is. Now that our last claimant has arrived, we can proceed with the formalities. For the skill and bravery the three of you have shown, I award you each a second keystone.
That makes 5. Only 2 left to collect.
Except that one of those 5 is in Bakool Ja Ja's thieving hands. He will answer for that. And for losing Valigarmanda.
You have brought lasting tranquility to our home and earned the gratitude of every Yokhui. May glory and prosperity continue to bless Tural as we enter this new age.
Was never much of a talker, our brother. If you're up for it, you should visit the capital. I'd like everyone to get to know you and your people better.
Ha! I'll consider it. If it's one of you two who claims the throne.
Then you need only await a missive from Sunperch. I'll be sending out invitations.
Ah, this guy.
Today is a day for unusual visitors.
You... Worqor, was it not? I doubted you could slay Valigarmanda, but the quiet skies proclaim your triumph. Had the vidraal been suffered to roam free, it would have terrorized us all. Once again, we find ourselves in your debt.
You owe us nothing. We fought because we wanted to.
Yet a debt has been incurred. All the same, it will haunt me if I do not repay it.
I wouldn't even know what to ask for.
Perhaps he can tell us about the dreams of the Golden City.
Oh, good idea! That was on my list of questions I wanted to ask.
The Golden Dreams. Yes, we have records of our forebears and their visions from the time before the Tural expedition.
What did your forebears see?
A heavenly land, suffused with a golden glow. Its people lived as gods, never aging, never dying, free from hardship and conflict. Every building was a palace, and in their midst reigned a silent goddess, a statue so tall even my kin would need lift their gaze to behold its visage.
A statue of a goddess. That's new.
Aye, and compared to the abstract imagery we'd previously heard, this was a detailed description.
The dreamers were consumed by their visions, compelled to seek out the paradise they'd been shown. They journeyed to tural, where they died in droves.
My throat hurts just listening him speak. I can't imagine how much his throat must have hurt after delivering all those lines that way.
Those who go in search of the Golden City do not return. The tales Worqor shared may have been rooted in historical fact.
Perhaps. Who can know the truth of it? Once our ancestors left the forest, there were no more dreams, no dreamers.
The forest? What do you mean?
From the very first, the visions were set to visit only those who worked the quarries in Yaktel. But after they were ravaged by disease and saw fewer newborns, they were forced to abandon that territory. Once our people's withdrawal to Urkopacha was complete, we never again dreamed of the Golden City.
So only Worqor in that one specific area experienced the visions. Fascinating.
Well, we're headed to Yaktel next. Maybe we'll find out more when we get there. Thank you for sharing your stories with us.
I do not require gratitude. I merely repaid a debt. Farewell, Worqor. I do not think our paths will cross again.
I don't think Vorporlor and his brethren will have a sudden change of heart about Tural. But that doesn't mean they'll never change at all. Today is proof of that. I think it's time we return to Tural. After scaling Tural's tallest mountain and battling a legendary beast to the death, even dauntless heroes like you could probably use a rest. In any case, there are preparations to be made before we can visit the next destination laid out in the saga. The respite would be most welcome. I believe I hear the 4 cabins calling our names. Haha.